Chairwoman, council members, it is my honor to be here tonight. I will tell you what I am not. I'm not an attorney. I'm not an elected official. I'm not a senator. But I'll tell you what I am. I am third generation St. Helena Island shrimper. I am appalled that this presentation tonight used a broad stroke to say that shrimpers are approving of this plan. That is simply not the case. My family has been in business for 76 years, not since 1990 something, 76 years. Again, I am third generation. We have 7 independent families that work out of our dock. Not a single one of those shrimpers signed an affidavit, I promise you. I've been in private meetings with them. I've been in private meetings with the other side. And I am just shocked that those words would be put on that. One shrimper does not represent an entire culture of St. Helena. I am St. Helena. We are St. Helena. You know, I had a letter to read, and then I really got kind of sidetracked when I saw that and I got blown out. I also want to say that I live in Del Amo. So Pat Harvey Palmer's comment, I've lived there for 30 years as well. My zip code has never been anything except 29920.
Fine.
Pat says that Del Amo is in support of it. That is not the case. I have remained quiet on this matter for all of the years that it has been presented. I've listened to everyone. I didn't want to get involved. I had a phone call with a friend yesterday, and he said, you really need to come and speak. And boy, am I glad that I did, because I am not a sellout. I promise you that. All those things mentioned in that presentation, golf courses, I do believe that if you carve out that out of the CPO for that to be allowed, that will forever change the face of St. Helena Island. I think you just can't ignore that fact. Let's let Charleston be our example. Let's let Hilton Head be our example. How many people are moving from those areas to St. Helena because of all of the traffic? You want a private golf course with a high membership? We have one. It's called Secession. I'm sure you can Google it. You want other golf courses? There are plenty on Hilton Head. You want to build a house on the waterfront property? Go build one at Fripp Island. We have all of that. What there is not anywhere else is St. Helena Island. And if you let it be changed, it will not ever be the same. My dad tells me stories of living on St. Helena when Highway 21 was a dirt road. And yes, and I'm getting emotional and I apologize. That road is no longer a dirt road. Some change has to happen. Infrastructure is necessary. We have that change. He tells me stories of when he was a child and he would release all of the cattle and all of the horses. They would go to school. At the end of the day, they would get the cart and the oxen and they would go gather the horses and cows and they would bring them home. Those dirt roads are disappearing. They're no longer existing. Don't make me be the one to tell my grandchild that there was a point in time when Sanders had thousands of acres with tomatoes on it. Dempsey Farm supplied our community with food. Don't make us say that to our grandchildren. You let one golf course in, I promise you, you will either be tied up in litigation with other developers that will be coming. We will lose it. It might not happen immediately. And let me remind you that not everything that sparkles is gold. So let's not be skewed by that. I probably have gotten off course a little. So I just want to say that St. Helena is more valuable as it is now than it would be if you were to approve this. There's nothing like it. You can't put it back. You can't erase it. You can't take it away. It will be there forever for future generations. And, you know, when he said, I'm going back to the shrimpers for a second, I'm sure there are many of us in this room that still shrimp and crab and oyster to this day that do not support this plan. And I'm not going to look behind me, but I certainly hope there's some other hands in the air. So I will go to my original task, which is to read a letter. And I also want to charge you with the responsibility to do what your constituents are asking you to do over and over and over. So I'll leave you with the final words of my brother. Tim Gay is his name. Again, we are Gay Fish Company on St. Helena Island. We've been there for 76 years. This is a letter from my brother. He could not be here tonight. My name is Tim Gay, and I'm the majority owner of Gay Fish Company, located at 1948 Sea Island Parkway on St. Helena Island. My family has lived here for almost 76 years. I am writing to express my strong opposition to the proposed zoning carve-out and development agreement for Pine Island. This island is not just where we live. It's where generations of families have made a living through shrimping, fishing, and farming. Local families have worked with us. We have worked beside. Color doesn't matter to us. We all work together in this industry. Families have worked with us alongside of us for decades. We personally, this year alone, have invested almost $1.5 million, in part with help from a grant from the Department of Agriculture and a grant from Beaufort County, to preserve and modernize our business. Why did we do this? We could sell it and put condos on it and we'd be rich. Heck, I could buy a membership to that golf course probably. We did this because we live in the future of St. Helena, one that protects its culture, economy, and identity. As the CEO of a major defense contracting company recently acquired by a private equity firm, I've reviewed plenty of complex agreements. Let me be blunt. I have no confidence in the numbers presented in the development agreement. If you put enough attorneys and accountants in a room, they can make numbers support whatever argument they are trying to make. That's not the truth, that's the spin. And I know because I've lived in that world for nearly 30 years before moving back here to my home. The cultural protection overlay was created in 1999. I'll skip that part, we've heard that 1,000 times. If we break the CPO now, it will set a legal precedent, one that opens the floodgates for future carve-outs. Once that door is open, St. Helena will be consumed by developers and outside investors in perpetuity. So I ask you, has anything really changed? Are we letting false promises blur our judgment? I urge you to reject the proposal, stand by the CPO, and keep St. Helena's future in the hands of its people, not the outsiders.